Jefferson Airplane members, Paul Kantner, Marty Ballin, Grace Slick, never would have imagined that their sound would evolve in such a way in 20 years. As you look at the Surrealistic Pillow LP from 1967, and the subject of tonight's Part 8 premiere, No Protection from 1987. Thanks for joining us. It's good to have you back again. The Starship debut LP, Knee Deep in the Hoopla, had been a smash success, reaching platinum in sales and peaking at number 7 on the billboards. This is the follow-up, which also did very well. It didn't go platinum, but it did go gold, and it charted at number 12 on the Billboard charts, a very high position. From this LP came Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, which was the third number 1 single for Starship in just 3 years. It also produced another top 10 in It's Not Over Till It's Over, which hit number 9 on the Hot 100. Beat Patrol also clocked in, peaking at number 46 on the charts, and the fourth and final single from this album, Set the Night the Music, failed to chart, but it was a top 10 hit for Roberta Flack in 1991. It was a duet she did with Maxi Priest, and it made it to number 6 on the charts. Alright, let's get to the cast list on this LP. As you can see, we have, there's the picture on the back. Right there. Alright, so we've got it's like an elementary school playground out here. Anyone want to play some Starship Foursquare? So we got Mickey Thomas on the vocals. We got Craig Chiquiso back on the guitars. Donnie Baldwin on the drums and backing vocals. This is his third appearance on a JS or S LP. And returning one final time, the legendary Grace Slick on her final Starship album on the vocals. When we last left you, there were 5 members. So you might be asking yourself, what happened to Pete Sears? Let's talk about Pete Sears for a minute here. Take a look at him there on the back of the Knee Deep in the Hoopla LP, and as I've been careful to point out, Pete and his wife Jeanette Sears were major contributors as far as bringing songs to the Jefferson Starship, beginning back at 1979's Freedom at Point Zero up until Nuclear Furniture. They had given at least 2 songs per album that the band had recorded, and of course Sears himself playing the bass and alternating that in keyboards with David Freiberg. Well, Knee Deep in the Hoopla, they did not have any songs on the album, and it's not because they didn't have any material. They did bring one to the studio called One More Innocent, and this was a song that was about situation that was going on in Central America at the time, and the song was rejected because of its political lyrics. Now, Grace Slick, she liked the song. It's not that JS was ever an overly political band, but you saw flashes of it from time to time. Like, for example, on the 1978 Earth LP, Slick herself had the song "Show Yourself," which was asking for transparency from leaders in the states, and it's a very good song. But it wasn't. It was. There was just enough vagueness to the song where you could interpret it, if you chose to do so, as a song about just asking for transparency, in relationship. Pete, when talking about One More Innocent, said it wasn't preachy, but Mickey didn't like it, and more importantly, management said we are now a corporate pop band and we have no room for anything controversial anymore. I mean, if you have passions about things going on the planet, great, but leave it at home, don't take it to work. we're a top 40 band now. And so this was kind of where Pete Sears was starting to see the writing on the wall for him. And you even saw it in if you watch the Daytona Beach MTV clip, he just looks kind of out of place and lost in that clip. So as we got closer to the recording of No Protection, the song Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now was recorded, I believe it was in the fall of 1986. And Pete Sears played on that song. He was on the bass guitar. In fact, if you see the official video for that song, which is spliced with the band playing and shots from the movie Mannequin, starring Andrew McCarthy and Kim Cattrall, you'll see Pete in the video. Let's take a look. So you look on the right there, and there he is on the bass. There's Chiquiso there on the left. And there's Pete Sears. And that will be the last we would see of Pete Sears in the Starship. Yeah, and sadly I don't have the sleeve for that LP. I need to replace this LP and get the one with a inner sleeve to it. So if you look at the personnel there's the 4 right there, and then additional personnel, Pete Sears on bass on just one song, the second song, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. Peter Wolf did the bass. He produced this album along with Keith Olsen, and so Peter Wolf is playing keyboards and bass, it's synth bass, on this LP. And another name that you might want to remember here is Brett Bloomfield, who did backing vocals on 2 songs here. He also joined them on the No Protection tour, and then he would later join them as an official band member for the next LP. So we say farewell to Pete Sears, and this is him at 2018, right there in the black on playing bass. Looking pretty good for age 70. The band is called Moon Alice. He's been in that for a while. The song One More Innocent that I talked about, he actually recorded that on a solo LP in 1988. And I've listened to it, and it's alright. It's not great, but I feel like if Starship had given it a chance, they could have had something there. Pete Sears, definitely one of the unheralded members of JS, kind of the quiet one of the band, if you could say, kind of almost like the Harrison of Jefferson Starship. He went all the way back to Dragonfly. Hell, he wrote the music to Hyperdrive, so he should be praised for that, right, Bolts? Just a decent guy, decent dude, really the spiritual member of the band. Just a solid musician, versatile, could play keyboards and bass. And it was nice to see on the 1982 Winds of Change tour, they would usually give him a spot in the show where he did this long bass solo for like 5 minutes or more, and it was doing the slap bass style kind of thing. So it was kind of cool to see them give him that time allotment in the shows, so the crowd seems to be into it. So long live Peter Roy Sears, and we'll move back to the content of Starship No Protection. Okay, so the first song is called Beat Patrol. This really sets the tone for this LP. This is the only... This is not a official music video, because they, as they say at the beginning of this, we couldn't afford to make one. But it's the only footage I could find of the No Protection tour. You can see a real... They're still filling stadiums pretty well there. It was a successful tour. It's very... It's just incredibly poppy. It's like the Archie Sugar Sugar for adults. There's Brett Bloomfield on the bass guitar. And this made it to number 46 on the charts. It wasn't a big hit for him, but it was definitely one that was played in concert a lot during this tour. And by all accounts, they appear to be... There's the tour bus. They appear to be really friendly and happy and having a good time. But yeah, it's a real catchy song. Alright, so Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now is the second song. That was recorded in the fall of 1986. The movie Mannequin came out in February of... let me back up a second. The single came out in January of 1987. And soon after that, it hit number 1. The movie Mannequin hit the theaters in February of 1987. So again, you had the third number 1 single for the band Starship in just 3 years. It's Not Over Till It's Over is, at that time, it was the used as the official theme song for Major League Baseball, and which is pretty cool. And then since then, it's been used as the official theme song of Bolts' Phoenix Suns when they were down 3-1 in the NBA Finals this year. It's Not Over Till It's Over was another top 10, the 4th top 10 for Starship. It went to number 9. This is kind of similar to Laying It on the Line. It's kind of that anthem, stadium type of song. I like this one a little better than Laying It on the Line, though. Girls Like You. This is the first one so far that has a writing credits from within the band. This is a Mickey and Craig written song, Girls Like You. Kind of catchy, but it's kind of falls flat. The next one is Wings of a Lie. This one, not too good. Not too good. But, Wings of a Lie. Okay, kind of schmaltzy. As a filler, not bad though. Alright, let's go to side 2. And let's go back up to the writing credits here. So Johnny Warman did Beat Patrol. I'm not sure who that is. You can see we have kind of a production by committee thing, mostly Wolf and Olsen, but It's Not Over Till It's Over was written mostly by Robbie Neville, who had 4 or 5 top 40 hits himself. The one that most people know is C'est La Vie. I think that was 1987. So Robbie Neville chipping in on this LP. Girls Like You, like I said, Mickey and Craig, along with Steve Diamond. Wings of a Lie was the Peter and Ina Wolf offering on this LP. Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. The legendary Diane Warren wrote that one. She wrote 2 for this LP. So on side 2, number 6, The Children is a really nice little opener. And there's Martin Page's name again. That's the only time you'll see his name on this LP. Martin Page getting in there with another well-pinned song there. Track number 7 is the one playing right now. I don't know why. This is the second one. Yeah, the second song that has a Starship member actually on the writing credits, Grace Slick. It's not a good song, but it's certainly better than the tripe that she was singing on Knee Deep into Hoopla. I mean, this is certainly listenable. Much more listenable than Rock Myself to Sleep. Alright, the next one is a song called Transatlantic. That might be the best song on the entire LP, arguably. Probably my second, if not third, favorite song on the LP. Alright, you're listening to Transatlantic. Alright, now just a real solid groove. Grace Slick came on David Letterman in 1987 to promote No Protection. She didn't perform any music. She just came on and did an interview. She's an excellent interview, by the way. And she came on and mentioned the song Transatlantic and how her daughter said that it should be the first single released from the album. And she also mentioned that the writer of Transatlantic was a guy named Anton Fig, who is the longtime drummer of David Letterman's band on his late night shows. That's Transatlantic. The next one is called Say When, and that's a nice little song written by David Roberts, who also wrote Before I Go from Knee Deep in the Hoopla, but this is better than Before I Go. Yeah, a little shorter, just better produced. Say When, good song. Should have been top 100, I think. And then you have the third and final song that was written by a Starship member. And again, you have Slick again contributing. She contributed 2 songs. Had 2 writing credits on this album. Babylon. Babylon's a pretty good one. Tommy Funderburk got in there. He would write he would go on to write the final Starship hit. Top 40 hit anyway. It's Not Enough. And this is I think Tommy Funderburk also did backing vocals in that song. On 3 songs on this LP, actually. So Babylon's a decent listen. And then the one that strangely I mentioned at the top of this video, that Set the Night to Music, also written by Diane Warren, who did Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. That song did not. It was released as a single and it did absolutely nothing. I think it was in a movie. Yeah, so like I said, it was a top 10 hit for Roberta Flack and Maxie Priest duet. It was also played at the end of, if you guys know the movie, the Judge Reinhold, Fred Savage film Vice Versa, a good movie from 1980. I think it was 1987 or 1988. Played at the end of that movie. Set the Night to Music, kind of similar to Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, not just because it's written by the same person, but it's that same kind of ballad thing going on. So it's I kind of felt like that song should have charted somewhere, but it failed to. But thankfully, in recent years, Mickey has used it as a closer at his shows now, so good to see him giving that song a little love. So So No Protection, I really like this album. I didn't like it much when I first heard it, but to me it's really that synth pop heaven. It really it really fits in with the other kind of synth pop albums that were out at the time, and it's really kind of on the top. I would rate it really high compared to those. If you don't like that kind of thing, you're not going to like this LP, but it just feels like they were really comfortable with what they were doing. They really have found their sweet spot. Grace Slick was pushing 50, and she had a good time with Starship, but she would later say that she got tired of singing empty pop songs and songs she didn't believe in, like Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. And it was this song, Set the Night to Music, that really bothered her. She showed up to the studio one day and found out that Mickey had recorded it without her. Mickey's excuse was, well, I thought it would be better with just a single voice, more intimate kind of thing, but okay, whatever, Mickey. But you can hear on the, I guess they added her voice later to it, but it was just better as a duet kind of thing. But Grace was feeling like she was being squeezed out. So the tour wrapped up in 1988. With No Protection in the books. And what was to come? And what was to come after this? I guess we'll find out in part 9. Appreciate you guys for joining us for the premiere tonight. Part 8, No Protection. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.